What's good, Walking Dead fans? This is the Campfire Crew, and man, while watching this episode, I had so many thoughts and emotions.
What? A commercial?
No, Rick. Not Carl. No, man. We've got 6 moments that we're going to break down and talk about a little bit further, but before we do, I must say that I was a little bit disappointed with the first few minutes of this episode because of the tease, right? I mean, we've been teased enough, man. Quit playing around. Here they go. We already know they've revealed they killed somebody to the right of Rick, and then they keep showing me people to the left of Rick. It's like, enough with the games already. We've been teased enough prior to this episode even coming out. We've been tortured, so just go ahead and get on with your business. Look, I still stand by what I said at the end of last season, and that was right when Negan come down with the bat and says taking it like a champ, they could have just briefly cut over to Abraham rising back up with blood on his face, then cut, end episode. That would have kept us from overanalyzing every single situation or scenario. It would have left our guard down a little bit, and then they could have hit us with the shocking moment with the second kill. Here's a very small clip from last week's speculation video that we did. We are going to lose one of our main characters, possibly 2. Look, our stance on who we think is going to die has not changed. We believe that it is going to be Abraham, and that the hard turn, the real shocking moment, is that right when you think everybody else is safe, bam! Glenn gets clacked upside the head with a bat, and we take out 2 characters instead of just 1. As you can see, we'd already called it almost shot for shot. We wasn't surprised by the fact that it happened, and I think that's due to the fact that they did the build up the way they did. Had they revealed it, I don't think I would have seen anything like this coming. However, this episode was brutal and gut-wrenching, a complete emotional roller coaster, and it was about one thing and one thing only. And that was telling the group, telling Rick, and telling us, the audience, exactly who the freak Negan is, what he's capable of, and what he's willing to do. Guys, do us a favor and drop a like for the return of The Walking Dead. Let's go ahead and hit up that moment number 1.
Rick and Negan road trip 2016. Yeah, let's go have fun. Let's get in the camper and let's find some crazy stuff to do. Yeah, it kind of felt weird when he drug Rick into the camper. I know everyone's thinking, what the crap's he gonna do? What is he gonna do to Rick? He broke Rick. And this whole thing that he was doing was just another example of ways that he was getting into his head. I mean, when he was driving the camper with the hatchet there and he's basically telling him, this would be the best time to kill me. You know, kind of put Rick in those situations to make these choices. It was rough. It was hard to watch, but I think it was very effective. I think Rick is now very, very broken.
Get my axe! Man. Even though this episode was about Negan and what he was doing to this group, they still managed to give us a very intense scene with walkers. I think this scene was just beautifully shot. I mean, you know, you had the fog, you know, you had Rick hunt for his weapon, you have Negan popping up every so often, just popping walkers with machine guns. I thought it was really well done, and I quite enjoyed it. It was a nice change of scenery and a nice change from the pure heaviness that this episode was.
Well, Negan's victims is finally revealed, and I gotta say, personally, the hard left turn that they were saying that we were gonna see, I don't see it, guys. I really don't see it. I mean, you killed 2 people. Was that it? Was that the turn that we were supposed to get, that we were supposed to be so surprised about? I mean, you killed one person who had died in the comics not too long ago and was on borrowed time. Then you killed the same person who died in the comics. How much of a turn was this? Now, with that being said, I feel like there's no other person who could have been killed other than Glenn. Just for the simple fact that I still remember when I read that comic, I literally was shaking. I was so angry, so upset by it, that they were able to translate that on the TV, and if they put anyone else in that position, it would have been rough. It would have been hard to see and hard to really connect with that character, because Glenn is kind of the moral center of the show, and for him to finally to be killed in such a gruesome fashion, I feel like that was needed. Now, with Abraham, it's sad because what Abraham brought to the show was just this like sense of humor that we didn't get sometimes, and it's going to be sad to see him go because what he brought to it was different than what was in the comics. That character in the comics was a strong, virile character, and he was too, but he brought this sense of humor that was just so perfect, and some of the one-liners that I will miss unbelievably. All the funny things that was said, but between the two characters both being killed, it's sad and it sucks, but I feel like it's really going to make a difference for the rest of the crew in many seasons to come.
There's something I want to add, about this scene, and that was the way that it was shot. I absolutely love the back and forth cuts between the overview shot and then the first person shot from Rick's perspective. I mean, it did a phenomenal job of really making us, feel like we was a part of what was going on. Man, and then you had, when Daryl popped up and hit Negan, I was just like, oh!
Well, this is a big one. I'm dying.
No joke, heart skipped a couple beats. Because I had predicted for Rick, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I predicted for Glenn to get hit. That's not the issue. I knew a second one was coming. But when Daryl did that, I was just like, yo, are they going to turn this on me? They did a really good job of making the Daryl fans really, really nervous in that scene. Overall, this is the most memorable and intense scene in Walking Dead history.
Negan's not done. He's not done mind raping Rick. He still has one more thing. He puts Carl on the ground and he tells him he's got to chop off Carl's hand in order for the rest of them not to die. This was an intense scene just for the simple fact that for comic fans, that Rick has lost his hand in the comics. It happened so long ago. You thought he was, let it be me. Just that like sniveling just reaction that he was getting was so intense and so heartbreaking. What I thought about the entire scene that I just gave me just so much happiness and hope was when Carl himself was sitting there just like, do it, Dad. Carl knows I'm willing to do what it takes to save these people. And even though Rick was being broken in that moment, I feel like Carl was being forged in that moment. And something we can really look forward to is more of that from Carl.
Daryl gets taken. This was a shock for me, but I think it was something that was obviously necessary to keep Rick's group in check. If you could imagine, even after all that went down, you still had Rick actually having to say, look, they've got Daryl. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this since you've got Dwight and Daryl together. There's a couple scenarios. One scenario is that Dwight uses Daryl as like a form of encouragement and they form some kind of a relationship, a bond to join forces, right? The other scenario is that they keep Dwight the same and he doesn't change and you still have Daryl being Daryl. And the third is that what if Daryl turns bad and goes toward Negan? I think this would be terrible. I'd rather him just die than that happen. And I don't think it's the most likely scenario, but who knows? It's a small possibility.
Maggie even literally, it seems like, on death's doorsteps. In so much pain, is ready to move on. She tells him that we are going to fight. The only person to actually put it into words that, Rick, you need to go and you need to get a plan. We're gonna need to fight these people. She's devastated, and she still needs to get to Hilltop. She is in some serious distress. Sasha chooses to go with her, so now her and Sasha are going to move on to the Hilltop. Something we'll probably see them be there for the remainder of the season and seasons to come at this point. I believe that this is the progression that we will see with her. We will see Sasha be there with her, and hopefully Maggie, this will be the chance that she will get to eventually become the leader that she will be. Now we know that she can be for the Hilltop community.
All right, guys. If you could do us a favor and share this video. We're trying to grow our channel. We love making videos. We want to continue putting out good videos. Share this video out and bring people to our channel. It would help us out immensely. Walking Dead is one of our bigger shows that we do cover on this channel, among some other things. Again, like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, because you're going to be getting breakdown videos of The Walking Dead every single week. Man, and until next time, guys, we out.